what's up guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Faith and I am an online fashion reseller selling on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. Today I have a video for all you beginners out there. I'm going to take you step by step on how to sell on Poshmark. Maybe you're looking to make a little bit of extra cash, maybe you're paying off debts, maybe you're saving for something special, or maybe you just want some extra disposable income. Poshmark is a great side hustle or even full-time income depending on what you want out of the app. So let's get started. In this video, I'm going to cover where you can get inventory, photographing, listing, how to make a sale, shipping, and how you get paid out in the end after you make your first sale. So without further ado, let's get started with the first tip. Step number one is finding something to list. So my suggestion, if you're just starting out, is to pull things from your own personal closet that maybe you don't wear anymore, something that doesn't bring you joy, and go ahead and list it on Poshmark as kind of a trial run as a beginner before you start going out to any stores to purchase inventory for your closet, which is actually called sourcing. So you are going to grab something from your closet, and my suggestion would be to take all emotion out of the item. You might be a little bit surprised, or maybe not, what the item is actually worth. Maybe the item is worth more to you because of the sentimental value of the piece, but buyers don't really care about that. You have to go off of the market value for the item. So just make sure you're taking emotion out of it and keeping that in perspective. Okay, next you're going to want to photograph the item. You're going to want to find a spot with great natural light. You don't need a lighting kit. You don't need anything fancy. All you need is either a white wall or a nice clean area where you can do a flat lay of the item. I take all of my photographs using my phone. One tip I want to share is make sure that you're taking the photo in square mode so that it fits perfectly into the Poshmark app. I use a clear command hook to hang my item on the wall, and I highly recommend getting a wooden hanger just to elevate the look of your listing. You can also take your photos using a flat lay. I'll insert some pictures up here as some good examples of some flat lay photos. The most important thing to remember is just making sure that it's well lit and in a clean space. I also think it's really important to have consistency in your photographs, so the same background in all of your images, so that when you upload everything on Poshmark and someone is scrolling through your closet, it has a consistent feel, and you don't have to get too bogged down. Don't do any crazy editing. As simple as possible, but to have everything look clean and crisp, having consistent backgrounds I think makes a huge difference. Now, I mentioned that you don't need a lighting kit, but I know not everyone is blessed with natural light. I actually don't really have that great of natural light, but what I do instead of buying any fancy equipment is I just edit my photos on my phone. So I personally use Lightroom to brighten up my photographs and make the background a little more white, just enhancing the natural whiteness of the wall. And then also, if I have an item that is super long and it doesn't fit very well in square mode without showing a ton of excess things that I don't want to be included in the picture, I do use an app called SquareFit, and that takes any image, even an image from the internet, and it resizes it into a square. And sometimes it adds like little white columns. I'll just show a picture of what I'm talking about here. But that is another way to make sure that all of your photos look nice. Okay, so you have your pictures ready. The next step is to list them. Now, don't overthink this. That's my biggest piece of advice. The picture really is going to do most of the talking. The most important thing that you need to remember is keyword search in the title. The description does not really matter as much. Really what you want to spend most of your time with is the title of your item. So Poshmark works like a search engine, so sometimes if you search for items, they will pop up on Google as a Poshmark listing, so people can purchase your items straight from Google, which is another reason why it is super important to nail those keywords. So my tips for this is to do the brand followed by the style name if you can find it, then some key features that people would probably search for, like mini skirt, mini dress, floral embroidered, lemon print, something like that, where it's a significant description of the piece that people are actually going to be typing into search when shopping for an item. And then just also make sure that you call out what kind of piece it is, whether it's a dress, top, pants, skirt, shirt, any of that. I can show some examples up here of what my listings look like as far as the keywords and how I structure my listing titles. Something that I do not recommend is adding emojis into your title. That's going to mess up the searchability of your listing. Just keep it simple with the keywords, and honestly, don't make it sound pretty. What's most important, honestly, is just keywords. It doesn't have to be this most beautiful flowing sentence. You just want to make sure that you utilize all the characters in the listing that you possibly can, so that you have more chances of it being found when a consumer is searching for the item. If you're having a hard time finding the style name of an item, you can actually use the app Google Lens. You can pop the photo that you already took into the search bar, and it will pull up listings that might help you find the style name of your item. Otherwise, you can just do some research on Poshmark or the internet, and hopefully you will have some luck finding the exact style. But if you don't, then that's okay. You can just use as many descriptive words as you can come up with. Okay, pause. I just want to ask a favor from you guys. If you are appreciating the tips that I'm sharing and you find this content valuable, can you please take just a little second and hit the thumbs up button and hit subscribe? It really helps my channel grow, and it's a great way to show your appreciation for the content that I'm sharing. Okay, next you want to fill out the description. This is not as important as the title, but still needs to be done. So I personally recopy the title in my description, then I describe the piece a little more using more keywords. I personally don't include measurements just because I'm selling a lot of items and it takes a lot of time, and in my personal experience, people just ask for measurements, and seriously, almost every single time I provide those measurements, they don't buy it anyways. So I found that for me personally, in my closet, I don't do measurements, but if that's something that you want to do, then by all means do that and include that in the description. And then also you want to call out the condition of the item. Definitely call out if there's any flaws and make sure those are photographed as well. Another thing to know is that at PoshFest this year, Poshmark let us know that in the description, it's better to have one chunk of paragraph instead of bullet listing all of the descripting items. So when you are filling out the description box, don't hit enter and do one line for each item. It might look better for you personally, but for search, it's better just to include one chunk of paragraph of text. When it comes to pricing, I recommend looking up the item that you're going to sell and seeing what others are selling it for, see if there's any of the exact same size, and then maybe price it a little lower or comparable based off of what you're seeing already out there and the demand for the item. Again, like I mentioned before, make sure you're taking emotion out of it. The market price is the market price, so no matter how many special memories you have the item or any attachments that you have, that doesn't necessarily make it worth more. Okay, so you just listed your item. Now you're gonna try to sell the item. Now, unfortunately, Poshmark isn't really a set it and forget it kind of platform. You do have to work a little bit more to make your sales, but I'm going to share some of the ways that you can help get some sales that are super simple. So my recommendation is to share your closet to either your followers or to parties 1 to 3 times a day. You don't need to go crazy and share it like 8 times a day. I mean, you can if you have the time, but that's not the best use of your time. When it comes to sharing, there are some things that you want to know as far as how the algorithm works on Poshmark. So when you are sharing your own items and you're either sharing them to your followers or to parties, that listing is going to show up in just in. So it's going to get bumped to the top of search. So when someone is searching for an item, it's going to be at the top of the search results, so we get more eyes on your item. And so that's the whole reason of why you want to share your items, and that is a way that Poshmark lets you kind of control how your item is being seen without having to pay for promotions or having to kind of pay to play in that sense. Poshmark is a very social app, so they really encourage social sharing, like sharing other people's closets and kind of commenting and following. And while that's all fun, it really doesn't do much for you or the other person. When you share someone else's listing, it doesn't move it to the top of search, it just shares it to the feed. Now, users are shopping for items in the search bar. Users are not going and scrolling on their feed because it is, to Poshmark's fault, not the most visually appealing way to shop. So all buyers are really searching for specific items or specific categories in their browsing from their search results. So that's why it's not really beneficial for you to share someone else's item, and it really doesn't help them out as much as maybe you or they think, because it's not doing anything for their listing as far as search results. your time and their time is far better spent sharing your own items so that it is getting to the top of search. Same goes for following. It's kind of fun to follow people and maybe you'll bring someone to your closet, but the chances of them actually buying something from you aren't the highest, so I would maybe save some of the more social aspects for the app for a time that maybe you have some free time, but this isn't really a selling strategy that's going to help promote sales. My next tip for making more sales and selling your item on Poshmark is to list every day. Now this might be a little challenging when you're first starting out and maybe you're just trying to stick to items in your closet, but in my personal experience and opinion, I think it's best to list one item per day instead of maybe 3 items one day, 2 items 2 days from then. If you stick to a consistent schedule, the algorithm really, in my opinion, favors you. It kind of goes the same for all platforms that you're on that are kind of social platforms. eBay's the same, Mercari's the same, YouTube, Instagram, they all want you to be posting and pushing out content every single day. Same goes for Poshmark and your listings. Now there's some more advanced tips that I can share as far as selling strategies, but really just to keep it simple, the 2 things that are really going to impact your sales is sharing your closet and listing daily. Okay, so once your item sells, you're gonna get super excited and then you're going to get ready to ship your item. Now, Poshmark is literally the easiest platform to ship, so don't freak out. It is so easy. So there is a flat shipping rate that either the customer buys or you split, or maybe you offer them free shipping depending on how the sale was made. But Poshmark sends a prepaid label directly to your email, and then all you have to do is print it out, stick it on the package, and send it out. It is a USPS shipping label, so you can either give this to your mail person or you can drop it off at the post office, or even UPS stores sometimes accept USPS mail, or they have drop box in front of the stores. My recommendation for shipping supplies is that free is better. You can actually get free supplies from the US Post Office. All you have to do is go to their website and look at the supplies you want and then order them. It's free of charge and they will ship directly to your home. This is what the boxes look like. They're going to be flat rate priority mail boxes. You can get boxes of all different kinds of sizes, and then you can also get mailers. So when you're starting out, or even when you're an expert, just use the free stuff. In my personal opinion, it's going to save you so much money. But if you want to have a little more flair to your store, your closet, you can also get really cute poly mailers. I get mine on Amazon. And they are a little bit pricey, but sometimes it's fun just to have some cute poly mailers to go with your stuff. On that note, you don't have to spend a lot of money on packaging. You don't need to include any free gifts. You don't need the stickers. You don't need the cards when you're starting out. If that's something that you want to dip your toes into, or something that you want to include when you're actually starting to make a little more money on Poshmark, then by all means, that's the fun of it. But when you're starting out, just keep it simple and free. So you're going to ship out your item. Once it's delivered, the customer is going to be able to accept your item. They'll give you a rating. Maybe they'll leave you a love note, which is just feedback on their purchase. And then once they accept the item, they say that nothing's damaged, it's as described, then you will get the funds released to you. So essentially the earnings that they told you that you would get, that is finally paid out to you, and you can hook up your bank account and have it direct deposited right into your account. And it's actually probably the best platform as far as payment goes. It gets deposited into your account in like 3 business days. It's super quick and I've never had a problem with it. So that's the great part of using Poshmark. Okay, so you made your first sale, you just got paid out on it. What I would personally do is take that money and reinvest it into maybe purchasing some inventory. So some places that you can do this, especially if you're starting out, is going to your local thrift store. And if you have a Goodwill bins or a Goodwill outlet by you, I definitely recommend starting there so you can start getting some inventory for super cheap. The lower you can get your cost of goods, which is how much it costs you to purchase an item, how much you pay for it, it's called cost of goods, the better, because that's going to help you snowball your business. I wish that's something that I would have really taken advantage of when I started, is just keeping your cost of goods as low as possible. And it's okay if maybe your sales price is a little bit lower, and just slowly working up to being able to maybe buy some more expensive items for a higher profit. All right, that's it for the video. I hope you found these tips helpful. Be sure to comment down below if you want to see any more in-depth videos on the steps that I talked about today, or even just comment down below with a question. I'd love to help you out. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe so you don't miss any more reseller content with me. All right, I'll see you guys next week.